Broadcast Cablevision presents NJSIAA Group 1 Championship Football. Today from Woodbury High School, the Thundering Herd of Woodbury against the Bulldogs of Glassboro High School. Hi everybody, I'm Bob Schrack along with Fred Schwartz on a gorgeous day for a high school football championship game in early December, Fred. And for the first time since 1991, a school other than Paulsboro is going to win Group 1.
And yeah, Bob, and also there are two synonymous teams with championship football in Group 1. They've both beaten Paulsboro this year. They're both waiting to be the first team since Paulsboro to win since 1991, and I think they're both ready to play.
It is amazing, Fred, how Gloucester County schools in Group 1 have dominated this tournament since the 80s.
Good athletes, good coaches, and good competition. Glassboro would love to play both Woodbury and Paulsboro every year, and I think that's a plus, and that says eons about the teams and their programs.
You and I had an opportunity to see Glassboro upset Paulsboro in the semifinals, Fred. What does this Glassboro football team have to do today to knock off Woodbury?
Same defensive effort that they had before. They have to prevent the big play, they have to prevent the mistakes, and they just have to use their offense to control the ball to keep Woodbury away from the football.
Glassboro may have been looking a little bit past Clearview on Thanksgiving because Clearview pulled the upset, so Glassboro needs to rebound from that.
Hardest game to coach that I can ever remember is the Thanksgiving after you've played a playoff game. If you win, you're full of emotion. It's hard to get back down to that level you need to play. If you lose, it's hard to get back up.
Like Glassboro, Woodbury really on a roll in the playoffs. They've been most impressive, including an easy victory over Florence that many people did not expect. They're playing well.
Great talent at Woodbury, beside a good coaching staff. But I think Ryan Kent is a person that you build a program around. He has a quick, fast backfield with Paris Minor, Malachi Allen, and Beverly, and a great defense that doesn't get enough credit. Kent, of course, will be honored by the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey this coming week as one of its backs of the year. He's had an outstanding senior season, and he's really the key guy in this Woodbury offense. I think so, and I think he's the person, if you were going to start a program from scratch and you had one person you could pick from South Jersey, he's the guy because he plays defense, he plays offense, he runs, he passes. He's your ultimate player. He'll be the key today. Two coaches today, Fred, who maybe don't get as much credit as they should, not only for a great season this year, but for fine careers. Bob Cleary at Glassboro and Jim Boyd, of course, at Woodbury. I think we've said this before. They do it in a quiet way. They're efficient. They're very competent. They get the most out of their players, and they do it in a way that brings credit to their players rather than themselves. And what they also have is tremendous assistant staffs. Absolutely. I think that's the thing that's often missed in our telecast and in our newspaper. You can't make it without Butch Gale, outstanding former head coach. He's there. Willie Murray has just been an institution in Woodbury. Herb Nulio does an outstanding job. I think we look up and down the staff, you'll see quality people all around. Should be a good one, Fred. Okay, it's Glassboro visiting Woodbury for the Group 1 Championship right after this. Fred Schwartz and Bob Shryock at Woodbury High School for the South Jersey Group 1 Final. The Thundering Herd of Woodbury High hosting the Bulldogs of Glassboro. And we're about ready to get underway. And what incredible early December weather, Fred. And there's no wind at all today. It's very warm. Perfect weather as long as that rain stays away.
Absolutely. 73 degrees yesterday for your pregame practice. We don't even get that sometimes in September.
Of course, the Army-Navy game is being contested as we do this game only a couple of miles as the crow flies across the Delaware River, and I understand it's raining over there, so there is the threat of rain, the threat of showers during this football game. But the field in excellent condition.
And Bob, there's just an electric feeling here today. It's Championship Saturday. Both teams are landmark teams in Group 1, but they've lived in the shadow of Paulsboro, and today is going to be the day for one of these teams to shine. Do everything. Ryan Kent will kick off for Woodbury High School, deep for Glassboro. Julian Worley, what a great game he had against Paulsboro in that 13-0 semifinal win by the Bulldogs. So we're ready to get underway. Good crowd assembling at Woodbury High School, and the South Jersey Group 1 Championship on the line. Short kickoff. Dropped at the 21-yard line by Owens. And Owens breaks through, almost breaks it all the way. A saving tackle made by John Stites, but
great field position for the Bulldogs on the long kickoff return by Owens.
And Bob, sometimes they say that the special teams are the indicators of whether your team's ready to play or not. I think Glassboro, I'm used to having Paulsboro here, but Glassboro has certainly shown that they're ready to play today.
Derek Satilli runs the offense for the Bulldogs. They start from their own 44-yard line, first down and 10. Worley with the carry, and he is dumped at the line of scrimmage. Good job of submarining the play by J.D. Barringer. Great tackle by Barringer, and negligible yardage for the Bulldogs in their first play.
And Bob, as much as we'd said that offense is the forte of both these teams, defense is what's going to win the championship today.
Worley, of course, had the big 85-yard touchdown run for Glassboro, which sealed Paulsboro's doom in the semifinal. Nothing doing here. Tackle by C.J. Maurer, 270-pound junior tackle for the Thundering Herd, as Williams is stopped for a loss on the play. It'll be third down and 11, so the Woodbury defense coming up big in the first two plays.
And here we can see for Glassboro, Julian Worley will wear number 12. He'll be the halfback. Bruce Williams, number 33, will be the fullback. Terrence Holmes, the wide receiver. Terrence Patterson, number 21, and the tight end is Sean Michael Cleary.
Possible passing down for Derek Satilli. Satilli to pass. Goes deep, looking for Worley, for Terrence Holmes. Out of bounds, and Glassboro will be forced to punt.
Boy, once again, Satilli shows us what strong arm he has. He actually had a receiver wide open and threw the ball out of bounds, but that's the play that Glassboro needs in order to be successful today.
Now Glassboro will punt, and what an adventure punting was for Glassboro in their semifinal victory.
I'm sure Woodbury's not going to rush all 10 today.
Richard Willis, the punter, his long run for a touchdown, 78 yards on a botch punt was the key. Now he gets a great snap from center this time, gets the kickoff. Waiting for it is Miner, takes it, breaks one tackle, but does not break the second. Tremendous coverage downfield by Chris Sheridan. We'll hear his name a lot today.
I think we're going to see two outstanding little people play in this game. Sheridan's going to be one that's going to play corner for Glassboro, and we're also going to see Chuck Adair.
Chuck Adair, one of the many juniors in the Woodbury lineup. So Woodbury with his first possession, their offense run by Ryan Kent. What an outstanding career he's had. This will be his final high school game. Touchdown Club back of the year. Kent keeps it. Kent with some room. He's in the clear. One man to beat. Cuts it back. He's at the 40, the 35. Still on his feet. Kent could go. One man to beat, and he'll go in. Ryan Kent with a 77-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage for Woodbury High School. And just 1 minute and 40 seconds into the football game, Woodbury leads 6-0, and Ryan Kent showing us why he was the back of the year.
I was going to say, Bob, if anybody ever had a question about the credentials of Ryan Kent, they just saw that on that play. Outstanding job from the quarterback on the option, breaking through into the secondary, and then just outrunning everyone for the touchdown.
Oh, what a big play. The Glassboro, which shut out Paulsboro, gives up a score in the first 100 seconds of this one. Tim Anderson, the freshman kicker, tries to make it 7-0, gets it up, and knocks it through. So with 10:20 to play in the first period, it's Woodbury 7, Glassboro 0, and there he is, Ryan Kent. He had a huge day, Fred, against Florence, and we're going to see this again.
And it'll be a straight down the line option for Woodbury. We'll watch Kent make the ride to the fullback, cut right back over the guard tackle hole, and there's nobody there looking protectable, looking to move to the outside, just turns around Terrence Patterson, looks for the cutback.
Wow, look, what another great cut.
And I'll tell you what, look at his receivers downfield making the blocks. Great job by Ryan Kent. And the dive into the end zone.
Nice young man, too. Had a chance to interview him after their win over Maple Shade. Fred, he's a fine young man, a great student at Woodbury High School. 7-0 Woodbury.
You know, Bob, I said that if I were starting a football team and had one person I could build my team around, my #1 draft choice would be Ryan Kent.
Kent will kick it off again for the second time in the first 2 minutes of the football game. That's Julian Worley, tremendous junior. Well, he's going to have some kind of senior season, I would imagine, for Glassboro. Over 1,300 rushing yards. as a junior. Short kickoff. Look at this. They had the short kick set up, I guess, Fred, but it didn't work. It goes out of bounds and will give Glassboro a good field position, but Woodbury going for the jugular early.
We were saying about the coaching abilities of both of the staffs. Great idea, because Glassboro's a little bit on its heels right now, being burned for that long touchdown, and if you can get that little pooch kick and recover it, you can deal a fatal blow.
So it's Glassboro football from their own 39-yard line with 10:20 to play in the first quarter. Glassboro unable to move the football its first possession, and they'll try again. They'll split the backs behind Satilli. Worley straight ahead. Worley with a couple of yards this time. Takes a big hit from Kent to finish off the play. Worley does get a gainer up to the 42-yard line of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Woodbury's using the 4-3 defense. Glassboro has to get used to that. We'll see the rest of the defensive linemen here now for Woodbury. Steve Smith, J.D. Barringer, Kanan Noon. Here's our linebackers with Malachi Allen, John Stites, and Chuck Adair. Adair's the one to watch. And our defensive back, Marcus Money, Tim Giles.
The pitch to Worley. Worley going nowhere. Worley going nowhere. That Woodbury defense really doing the job. First in on the hit was John Stites. He had help over there from Barringer, who's made a couple of big early plays. Loss on the play back to the 40. It'll be 3rd down and about 8 for the Bulldogs.
It's hard to say this with 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter, but this might be a crucial 3rd down for Glassboro to see if they can move the football.
Again, Satilli facing a probable passing down on 3rd down and 8. Satilli, good protection, excellent protection. Goes deep, has a man open, and overshoots the intended receiver, Terrence Patterson, who had beaten the defender and was wide open. He had about a 5-step lead on the defensive back, but overthrown by Satilli. We could be tied if that pass was about 3 yards shorter.
And Bob, that's for sure, but once again it goes as an incomplete pass, and 4th down on a punting situation for Glassboro. Woodbury should get decent field position again.
Paris Minor deep to receive the punt of Richard Willis. Glassboro unable to garner a 1st down on either of its first 2 possessions. Good snap again. Willis, is not called, and Minor calling for a fair catch at the 35. And the punter, Willis, getting up late. He's okay. Glassboro coaches wanted a roughing the punter on that one. Let's look at this play again, Fred.
And once again, there's 2 things. Number one is, was he blocked in it, and was the ball tipped? It looks to me the ball wasn't tipped. I think they're going to say that the Woodbury player was blocked into the punter by Glassboro's up back.
1st and 10, Woodbury at the 35-yard line with 9:01 to play in the first quarter. Kent to throw. Fires it over the middle. Incomplete. Good defense by Terrence Patterson on the intended receiver, Arlo Nelson. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Here's our lineup for Woodbury. You'll see Paris Minor, Malachi Allen, and Greg Beverly in the backfield. Tight end Arthur Lewis, and the wide receiver is Matt Giles. Offensive lineman Robert Duffield, Steve Smith, Mike Moriano, Kanan Noonan, and C.J. Maurer.
7 juniors, you said, Fred, in that?
7 juniors, which bodes
Woodbury
well for
offense. 2nd and 10, Woodbury. Straight ahead, some good running room. Malachi Allen with the carry up to the 41-yard line. Pick up on the play of about 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Here we see the defensive lineman. The key there might be Jerry Stranix, the nose guard, number 68, and Dave Brown. Our linebackers, Sean Michael Cleary and Anthony Haggerty, both good ones. And our defensive back, we've seen Patterson, Sheridan, Worley, and Holmes.
Injured Glassboro player back at about the 32-yard line being worked on. We'll take time out from Woodbury High School. It's 7-0 Thundering Herd. Floyd Taylor was the injured Bulldog. He's okay. It's 3rd down and 4. The ball at the 41-yard line. Kent getting a big rush, and he will go down. Terrific play. Penalty markers down, but outstanding defensive play by John Davis of the Bulldogs.
And this may be crucial.
Kent in the backfield.
This may be very crucial because it looks like it's a face mask violation going against Glassboro, which will give Woodbury the first down.
So nice play by Davis, negated by the face mask, and that'll give referee today is Jim Winterberg, veteran officiating crew.
Face mask on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty.
– 15-yarder up to the 49-yard line on the 1st and 10 for Woodbury. So the good defensive play by Glassboro, Fred, goes for naught. Woodbury keeps possession.
And unfortunately, sometimes right now looks for Glassboro that everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Wide open receivers with overthrows and a long run, and they need to make a stand right here.
8:24 to play first period, 7-0 Woodbury. Some running room to the outside for Allen. Allen thrown down by Worley. Nice play by Worley. Looked like it could have gone for more, but a nice gainer nonetheless by Malachi Allen. And a first down advance to the Glassboro 40-yard line.
Again, we get a chance to see the speed that Woodbury has and also the trickery. They run the down the line option, sometimes called the triple option. And I can tell you, they're a threat at every position.
First and 10 Woodbury, the ball at the 40 of Glassboro. Kent with the pitch. Oh, what an outstanding open field tackle by that ever-present number 29, Chris Sheridan. He had a terrific game against Paulsboro, starting out well again here today. Great tackler.
And very important here because when they run the option, you have to play assignment football. A person must be put on the fullback, must be put on the quarterback, and must be put on the pitchback. So it takes an intelligent, disciplined player to defend against Woodbury.
Loss of 4 to the 44, second down and 14 for the Thundering Herd. Kent gets a big rush from the outside, has a man open momentarily. Good diving effort by Paris Minor, incompleted pass, but a nice job by Paris Minor of extending himself to try to get that football.
And it's good to see Paris here. He had some injuries during the early part of the season and was unable to perform to his ability, but he's a quick runner. He's a great, outstanding track runner in the same case, and a heck of a human being. Saved my life on the sidelines one day.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I was standing on the sidelines. He came running, and he juked me right out of my feet and saved me.
3rd and 14 Woodbury. Ball at the 44 of Glassboro. Kent drops. Little dump pass. Caught by Lewis. Lewis down the sideline, and it looks like he has first down yardage. Nice job by Lewis, but it looked like he might get tackled well short of the first down. Terrific individual effort by Arthur Lewis, another one of the juniors in this offensive unit, and Woodbury back knocking on Glassboro's door at the 21-yard line.
Bob, right now, Woodbury's doing everything right. Outstanding play calling. They caught Glassboro in a center blitz, the perfect defense to run the screen. You make the one block on the outside, you're able to run for a while.
1st and 10 Woodbury, ball at the 21-yard line. Kent's handoff to Allen, gets a couple. Cleary on the tackle, and you'll hear his name a lot today, the son of the Glassboro coach, Sean Michael Cleary. What a great player he is.
And an outstanding human being. And the other factor we're looking right now is Glassboro is probably just shaking their heads because Woodbury's just doing everything right, getting the breaks that are needed. They must, now that being Glassboro, must make a stand right here and keep Woodbury out of the end zone.
3-yard pickup to the 18, 2nd down and 7 for the Thundering Herd. Kent keeps the football, cuts it over the middle, but not a whole lot doing. Advance to the 16, pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Right now, Woodbury's perfect on third down execution and getting the first downs, and we'll see if they can continue that around. I don't know what they'll do on fourth down. I don't think a field goal is in place right now, so I think we're going to see two-down offense here for Woodbury.
Bob Cleary, the Glassboro coach, on the right with his hands on his hips. Third down call for Ryan Kent. Kent keeping the football, trying to get to the corner. Nice tackle by Cleary. However, it appears that Kent has the first down at about the 10-yard line.
And what will go unnoticed in that play was an outstanding block by the lead halfback on the defensive end. Probably in that case, it'll be Malachi Allen that blocked the person that's responsible for tackling Ryan Kent and gives Kent the opportunity to run for the first down.
Woodbury coaching staff, that's Tom Hurst on the left, Donnell Davis. First and 10, they can get a first down without scoring just inside the 1-yard line. Hand off to Miner, trying to break a tackle. Nice tackle by Julian Worley, but the advance to about the 9-yard line.
And it looks like we have a flag down on the field, Bob. I don't know whether we're going to get that legendary holding call here, but let's see.
That's what it is, so Woodbury will back up. Ezekiel Jenkins, number 77, 310-pounder for those Bulldogs.
Bob, I happen to get a chance
Holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
I happened to get a chance to see St. Joseph Montvale play the other week against Holy Cross, and they were averaging 285 across the front line with two people over 300, and then they turned around and got beat 35-7 last night by Bergen Catholic. So there must be some incredible teams in the state of New Jersey.
Ball at the 19-yard line after the penalty. It's still first down. Woodbury has to get inside the 1 for a first down. 19 yards for a touchdown. Kent keeps the football, but he is sandwiched. Leading tackler Terrence Patterson. He had help on the play, no gain, and it'll be second down and 18.
And we'll give some credit there to Herb Neilio, their defensive strategy on that time, because Woodbury ran the option again with the lead option, and Glassboro's defensive line stunted to the flow side, and we were able to make the play.
Familiar Woodbury wishbone offense. Second down call for Kent. Back to Twitch. Fires it, has a man open, and it is caught by Arlo Nelson. But the advance only to the 14-yard line, so it'll be third down and 13, and Glassboro will be happy to give them a couple of yards like that on every play if they can keep them out of the end zone.
Again, Bob, championship games, great coaches. Good strategy there by Woodbury coaches, running that flood to the weak side, and both receivers were covered, but an outstanding catch by Nelson.
Third down and 14 for Woodbury. Kent to throw, fires it into the corner of the end zone, and knocked away and almost intercepted. Terrific play by the freshman Terrence Holmes. Perfect position on the intended receiver Matt Giles.
Once again, that's all athletic ability at time. We're going to get a chance to see it again. There'll be a fade to the end zone. You'll see Kent with the 3-step drop, put the ball up. Watch how it's being played here by Terrence Holmes. He jumps high, tips it, and then has the wherewithal to almost go for the interception.
So it's fourth down. They're going to go for it from the 14-yard line. Kent fires it over the middle, and it's intercepted. And Sheridan knocked out of bounds. We said we'd call his name off, and that's going to be a late hit call, I believe, in the sidelines after Sheridan intercepted the ball in the end zone and ran it out to the 17. How about that player, Chris Sheridan?
And I'll tell you, Bob, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and we just saw one because the receiver was open. Sheridan then read the quarterback's eyes, made the interception, and ran up the sideline. Sometimes as a coach you wonder on fourth down, do you intercept it or knock it down?
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds. 15 yards, first down.
So Sheridan's interception in the end zone results in Glassboro getting possession at his own 36-yard line. Nice turnaround for the Bulldogs. It looked like they could be down 2 scores, and it's still only 7-0, and they have the ball in decent field position. But Glassboro is still unable to move the football in 2 possessions. Worley with the carry. Worley with a good cut. Tripped up on a nice tackle by Chuck Adair.
You can't help but not like Chuck Adair. Chuck Adair is 5'7", 155 pounds, and gives every inch of his body on every play. He came up and met the ball carrier one-on-one, made the trip up that results in a short gain.
3-yard pickup to the 37 by Worley. It's 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs, or 2nd and 7. Satelli with the pitch to Worley. Worley cutting it back inside, and penalty markers down. Worley gets only a yard or two.
Bob, we're going to get a block in the back against Glassboro. Wide receiver coming back inside, blocking on Chuck Adair. Drilled him right in the back, and we're going to get a 15 or 10 or 15, depending on how they call it.
Kent with the initial hit, so this will back up the Bulldogs. Pretty good crowd on hand for this NJSIAA championship game in Group 1.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
So the Bulldogs backed up to their 21-yard line. They have to get all the way out to the 44 for a 1st down. Second down and about 23 for the Bulldogs. So Glassboro is struggling with its offense here in the 1st quarter. Still 2:03 to play in the 1st. Woodbury on the strength of that 77-yard touchdown run by Ryan Kent on Woodbury's first play from scrimmage with a 7-0 lead. Zach Valentine on the left, that's Tom Hurst behind him. Now Willie Murray, of course, on the right, the assistant head coach and former All-State quarterback here at Woodbury High School.
That was interesting. They've moved the ball up, so I guess they've marked the penalty at the spot of the foul, but somehow I think there's been a little gain there by Glassboro.
So 5-yard differential. It's still 2nd down. Satelli takes a hit, looking for the freshman Holmes, defended nicely by Tim Rivera. It'll be 3rd down for the Bulldogs.
Tim Rivera there did the job that you're supposed to do in the secondary. He stayed home in his zone when Glassboro ran what we call the corner and flag pattern. They sometimes hope that the corner will bite. The nicest thing again about Rivera is a sophomore for Woodbury.
And he was defending the freshman from Glassboro, Terrence Holmes.
I think we might see them a few years in the future.
I believe so. The winner of this game becomes the first Group 1 school since 1991 other than Paulsboro to win in Group 1. Satelli to throw. Gets a big rush, and he is smacked by Barron. Look at this throw. And right over Holmes' shoulder. I tell you, Satelli made a terrific throw. He got big pressure and a hit from Barringer. Incompleted pass. Glassboro will be forced to punt.
I'm sure Bob Cleary's saying these against Haddon Township, these were the passes he was completing, and that's the reason they were able to score 51 points against Haddon Township. Today, it's just a matter of inches, that either for an overthrow or an underthrow, and he hopes that some of them will soon become completions and big gains for Glassboro.
So 3 series, no 1st downs for Glassboro here in the 1st quarter, 1:46 to play. Willis punting for the Bulldogs. Paris Minor deep at about his own 43-yard line. Good snap again. Short punt, very short punt by Willis, and it takes a favorable Woodbury bounce, so Woodbury is going to get great field position at the Bulldog 44-yard line.
Bob, Glassboro's defense is again called to rise to the occasion. When the offense is not moving the ball, the pressure goes on the defense. They made a nice stop in the last series, and they're going to need it again.
Bob Clary with his head tilted a little bit over there, not real thrilled with the way the 1st quarter is going. All those teams down only 7-0. Handoff, not a whole lot doing for Malachi Allen. Nice hit again by Terrence Patterson.
Another one of the underclassmen on the Bulldogs, Patterson, who's a junior, just reacted well, stayed in his area of responsibility on that option and made the good play.
2-yard pickup to the 40 or 37. It's 2nd down and 8. Fires it over the middle, and it was right there to Marcus Money. Not an easy pass to catch. Couldn't hang on. Defended by Holmes. And it'll be 3rd down and 8.
And again, seeing the wheels turn, Woodbury went to what we call a spread offense, in which there are 2 wide receivers and 1 wide receiver and 2 spread halfbacks. That equals up man-to-man competition, and they're trying to throw that quick pass to Money.
3rd down and 8 for the Thundering Herd. Minute 2 to play first quarter. Kent with the pitch to Nelson. Nelson is going to be corralled well short of the first down. Glassboro defense, after giving up the long touchdown run to Kent on the first play, really has regrouped. Looks like the same Glassboro defense we saw shut down Paulsboro.
That's right, Bob. First big decision for Woodbury. It's 4th down. It's 5 yards to go. Coach Boyd said no to the punt. We're going to go for offense. We're going to try to get the first down.
4th and 5, ball at the 33-yard line. Kent getting pressure. Kent, he'll be stopped short of the first down. Nice job. Sheraton, who else, in a tackle along with Sean Michael Cleary. And nice job by that Glassboro defense. After the short punt, they get the ball back.
And they've really found life now for Glassboro because they've been able to stop the Thundering Herd. That was a run all the way. Even the wide receivers were blocking downfield to try to turn Ryan Kent loose. Glassboro rose to the occasion and stopped. Now they've got to move the ball on offense.
14 seconds to play, first quarter. And the Bulldogs start from their own 32-yard line. Worley with a little room, tripped up. Good job on the tackle by Malachi Allen. That should be the final play of the first quarter. So after one period from Woodbury High School in the NJSIAA Group 1 final, it's Woodbury 7, Glassboro nothing. We'll be right back. Second quarter of football from Woodbury High School. It's Woodbury 7, Glassboro nothing. Contesting for the Group 1 championship title, Fred Schwartz along with Bob Shryock, and the Bulldogs need to get that offense in gear, Fred.
Yes, they sure do. They're just relying so much on their defense to stop Woodbury. They got to give them time to rest and get some points on the board. 2nd
down and 7. The pitch to Owens, and Owens not much doing there.
You know, Bob, we said before that both teams, we know how good their programs are and how good their organization is. The game comes down to stopping the big play and not making mistakes, and so far, that advantage has gone to Woodbury.
So another 3rd down opportunity for the Bulldogs. Ball at about the 36-yard line. 3rd down and 7. Bulldog offense desperately needs a first down. Satilli to throw, fires it, and it's completed. Looks like it might be for first down yardage to Terrence Holmes, the spot at the 43. It is a first down. First down of the football game for the Bulldogs, and it comes at 11:17 to play and a half. But nice job by the freshman knowing where to be to receive that pass for the first down.
And once again, the strength of the arm of Derek Satilli, but that should really help Glassboro. They now know they can get a first down. Satilli's completed a pass. He should have even more confidence. Maybe this can be the time for the Bulldogs to start their drive.
Ball at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Short gain for Owens. Beverly in on the tackle for Woodbury. Also help on the play from Steve Smith, one of the great veterans on this team.
Woodbury's defense reacting very, very well to Glassboro's counter trap, and linebackers and secondary filling well, and the short gain of 1 yard on a play that usually gets a lot more.
Ball at the 44-yard line, 2nd down and 9 for the Bulldogs. Worley back in the game. He was out for a breather for a couple plays. Satilli with good protection, goes deep. What an arm he has, looking for the prize man, and just missing, connecting again as double coverage, Money and Kent on Holmes. But that's the 3rd time, Fred, they've tried to go to deep to Terrence Holmes.
And it's interesting. Obviously, in the scouting reports, they feel that they can make that long throw. Certainly, Satilli has the arm. They're getting closer and closer with each throw, and that's what makes Glassboro dangerous. They can look so poor on offense right now, and then one play puts 7 points on the board, or 6 points.
So it's 3rd and 9. They got the Woodbury defense thinking anyway with those long passes, even though none is connected so far. Satilli rolling, little dump pass out to Worley. Worley with the catch, hauled down on a nice tackle in the open field by Chuck Adair. They'll be short of the first down inside Woodbury territory to the 48-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 2.
And it looks like Glassboro is going to go with the punt this time rather than take the chance of turning the ball to Woodbury at midfield. But I think right there, I think that's what Glassboro needs to do. Instead of going deep down the field all the time, look for those little open passes in the seams that are your 5 to 8 yard passes and let your backs do your thing.
Willis, the punter. Paris Minor at about his own 14-yard line. Good kick this time by Willis. Minor on the run. Evades one tackler, a second, but not the 3rd and the 4th, as that Bulldog special team reaction is very, very good, and the tackle made by Floyd Taylor. So Woodbury will have to start from its own 20. You got to give Glassboro credit, Fred. They were hit quickly with that 77-yarder by Kent Ryan. Ever since then, they've played Woodbury even up.
And obviously, we know when you get to this level in this game that you've done it with some class and some reacting to pressure. Glassboro's done a good job of settling down.
Ball at the 20, 1st and 10. Kent keeps the football, but tripped up. Tripped up. Nice defensive play again by Glassboro. They're making some good ones now, and the tackler this time, Sean Michael Cleary. Leading tackler on the season for the Bulldogs.
And a junior, and that's even better for Coach Cleary. But once again, Glassboro doing a job of stringing out the option, making sure that Ryan Kent runs east and west instead of north and south, and that allows your rest of your linebackers and your defense to pursue and catch up.
No gains, 2nd and 10, ball at the 20. The wishbone attack. That keeps it, but I'll tell you what, he's not getting yardage now. That Bulldog defense really starting to dig in. Cleary in on the tackle again. Plenty of help on the play. Richard Willis part of the tackle. Gain of only 1, 3rd down and 9. So the Bulldog defense has kind of quieted this Woodbury crowd.
And that's for sure. And what they're hoping is for another stand right here and then get the ball back and keep good field position so they can move the football.
Big 3rd down call coming up for Ryan Kent. Kent rolling. Fires it and incompleted. Penalty markers down. Oh boy, the Glassboro coaches are incensed. Apparently an interference call against Glassboro, but the Glassboro coach is really unhappy on the sideline.
But I think if they'll see the replay, it's the correct call by the official, because as the Woodbury receiver went into the center, he bumped into the Glassboro defender, and the Glassboro defender is the one that initiated the contact. So I think it's the proper call by the official.
So they'll step this one off for 1st down yardage for Woodbury.
Pass interference against the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
I think if we get a chance to see this, you'll see the contact. But right now, we're focusing on Ryan Kent on his roll action pass. Good job of presence, and I don't think we're going to see the contact, but it took place right back in the center of the field.
Bob Cleary is in on the field talking to the officials. This is unusual. They've called a timeout, and Cleary seizing the opportunity, obviously, to register his complaint with that interference call on the previous play.
Now remember, in high school, there is no such rule like the pros have of an uncatchable ball. Interference can take place on any pass at any time. So the ball could be thrown 15 feet over the receiver's head, and if there's contact, it's still interference.
Cleary normally a mild-mannered guy, but he was upset on that call. Jim Boyd, the Woodbury coach, in his 9th year as head coach, although he's been at Woodbury for a long, long time.
And Bob, I don't think he gets all the credit he really deserves, because year in and year out, he not only fields competitive teams, but he also does so much for his kids. And they always play hard and they work hard. And I think he deserves a few more accolades than he gets.
And that's Wee Willie Murray. What a tremendous quarterback he was in the early 60s, right here at his alma mater, Woodbury High School. Does a great job assisting Jim Boyd as the assistant head coach. 1st and 10 ball at the 36-yard line after the penalty. Kent with the handoff and picking his, almost breaks it clear somehow. Malachi Allen slithered through the pack, and if he had maintained his balance, Fred, he'd be in the end zone right now.
And that's for sure, but I'll tell you what, a great job for him of keeping his legs going and keeping his balance until finally at the end, because when you watch in here, just watch how he keeps his legs going and keeps moving forward. Straight down, here's the option Malachi Allen, watch. He keeps his legs going, keeps chugging, puts that hand down, does everything a good back should do.
Looks like they lost track of him. 2nd and 1, fired over the middle and almost intercepted. Another penalty marker down as Worley is going to be called for the penalty, this time apparently on Matt Giles. So another interference call, and boy, it looked like pretty good coverage by Worley, didn't it?
Yeah, as much as I said the last one was definitely interference, this one I think I have to favor the defensive back at that time, and that's not going to sit well with Coach Cleary.
Pass interference against the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
So 2 15-yard interference penalties on this series, and Woodbury at the 40-yard line of Glassboro. So Woodbury really catching all the breaks in this game so far, and Bob Cleary not happy. That's Herb Neely on the right of the screen, the defensive coordinator, who's done such a magnificent job in his role. 1st and 10. The pitch to Nelson. Nelson gets a couple of yards down to about the 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. 7:12 to play in the first half. Woodbury 7, Glassboro nothing.
Bob, another key moment in this game right now, because there's a lot of frustration right now on the side of Glassboro. They thought they had Woodbury stopped. We've had 2 straight pass interference penalties. They have to gather themselves and play hard.
2nd and 5, ball at the 35. And the pitch to Nelson. Nelson almost breaking through. He'll be about a yard short of the 1st down. Tripped up on the play by David Brown, that 275-pound senior tackle that's played so well for the Bulldogs.
And not enough credit there. Sean Michael Cleary made an outstanding job of racing upfield and forcing the back to stay inside. Yes, there was gains made, but the big, huge play that could have resulted in a touchdown was prevented.
3rd and 2, ball at the 32. Handoff straight ahead and tripped up. Oh, a terrific play by the aforementioned David Brown, the big guy. Remember the speed he showed us and the quickness in the Paulsboro game? Showed it again there with a terrific play.
And that's true, Bob. I'll tell you what, he's just an outstanding player. When you can have that much size and that much speed and then have the heart to go in and make that play, he's a player in my book.
That's the kind of quickness college recruiters look for that David Brown has shown us. Another 4th down call, 4th down and 3 for the Thundering Herd, ball at the 33. Kent keeps the football. Kent has the 1st down. Somehow manages to avoid a couple of tackles and gets it down to the 27-yard line for a Woodbury 1st down. And a injured Glassboro player down at about the 33-yard line. We'll take time out from Woodbury High. Still 7-0 Thundering Herd. The injured player was Terrence Patterson. He's okay. 1st down and 10 Woodbury on the 27-yard line. The pitch to Nelson, and Nelson going nowhere. Terrific play by that Chris Sheridan with big help from Anthony Haggerty.
And Sean Michael Cleary was there too. When you run the option and you run out of the wishbone, your backs have to be able to block and to run. That's the nicest thing. You have to be able to do everything. A missed block outside by the lead halfback enabled Glassboro to make that play.
Loss of 2 to the 30, 2nd down and 12. Yards not coming easily for Woodbury other than Kent's long run. Kent to throw, fires it over the middle, and intended for Lewis, incompleted. Single coverage by Holmes. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
And it goes out to show how you could look at formations. If we get a chance to ever see that again, Woodbury set 3 receivers into the sideline and 1 receiver up to the wide side of the field, all to get Glassboro to go man-to-man in the secondary and set up that quick slant.
4:33 to play in the half. Woodbury leading 7-0 driving, but they need a big play here on 3rd and 12 from the 30. Looking over the middle, and the defender fell down on the play. That was Holmes, but the ball was underthrown to the intended receiver, Arthur Lewis. So it's incompleted and 4th down and 12. And Woodbury's had a number of these situations in the first half, stalling out at about their 30, 35-yard line.
And that may be a plus for Glassboro, realizing that the score could easily have been 21-0 at this time. But the first mistake Ryan Kent's made all day in the fact that he had a receiver open and threw the ball short.
4th and 12, ball at the 30. Kent rolling. Kent firing it into the end zone, and it'll be incompleted. Minor was the intended receiver. The coverage on the play by Ray Owens, and give that Glassboro defense some credit. Again, they hold.
And they dodged another bullet, and they also overcame the frustration factor of those 2 15-yard penalties. And now if they can make anything happen, it's hard to believe that as much as Glassboro's offense has developed nothing and Woodbury's offense has, that it's only 7-0, and a big play by Glassboro could make it 7-7.
So the Bulldogs take over at their own 29-yard line. 4:20 to play in the half. Glassboro with just 1 first down here in the first half, but they're still very much in this football game. Worley picking his way, still on his feet. Nice run by Worley, although it only gets a couple of yards. You showed his elusiveness in that run.
And once again, Woodbury's just doing a great job with their quickness to react against every play that Glassboro runs. And if we're analyzing the first half, the only possible success for Glassboro has been throwing the football.
2-yard pickup by Worley, 2nd down and 8, ball at the 32, clock running, 3:50 to go in the half. Satilli fires it and almost picked off by Money, and if he caught that one, it's 6 points for Woodbury. The intended receiver was Holmes.
Probably the strong arm is until he saved that, because the ball was thrown so hard. Money thought the ball was going to be right to him and scooted right through his arms and incompletion.
Brian Bratton bringing in the play for the Bulldogs. 3rd down and 8. 3:39 left in the half. Satilli fires it, and that's up for grabs, but is it caught? No, out of bounds.
Now they're going to call it a completion.
Oh, they are?
How about that?
Worley with the catch. Terrific job by Worley. I thought they called it out of bounds. First down catch to the 48-yard line. That's a big one for Worley. That ball kind of floated out there. Nice job by Worley adjusting to the ball.
That's for sure, Bob. And it's funny that of all the deep throws that Satilli's made, here he makes an underthrow, and it's caught. A slow roll by Satilli, plants his back foot, and just throws off his wrong foot. Now watch the feet.
Oh, that's a great catch.
That is a great catch and an interesting mark.
Big time catch. Ball at the 48, 1st down and 10. Handoff with some running room for Williams. And one of the best running plays of the first half for the Bulldogs into Woodbury territory to about the 45-yard line. Pick up on the play of about 8 yards, 2nd down and 2.
That old word momentum comes in, and all the breaks so far have gone to the Thundering Herd. That break seemed to have gone to Glassboro, so maybe something can develop as a result of it.
3 minutes to play in the half. Worley going nowhere. He'll be short of the first down marker. Malachi Allen in on the play. Barringer also there. Barringer's had a big half. So it'll be third down and still about 1.5 yards to go for a first down. Ball at the 44-yard line. Big play for the Bulldogs. Clock running, 2:33 to play in the first half. Williams and Worley, the backs behind Satilli. Worley in a trap play, and he'll get the first down to about the 41-yard line, but Glassboro has to start becoming a little conscious of the clock. They're in good shape, 1st and 10, but the clock running.
But Bob, a little confidence now. That's 2 straight first downs that the Bulldogs have had, so their offense can start to gain some confidence. And also remember, with the strong arm of Satilli, that end zone is never far away.
Ball at the 41-yard line. Best drive of the first half by Glassboro. Minute 55 with the clock moving. Satilli with a drop, gets a big rush, fires it up. Holmes there and intercepted. A circus catch for the interception by Ryan Kent. And the Glassboro drive blunted and Woodbury takes over. Cheerleaders love it. That was some acrobatic catch.
Boy, that was, Bob. And Ryan Kent playing the free safety spot just like a center fielder. Woodbury came with an all-out blitz in this. So Satilli setting up the throw. Here comes Woodbury, and he throws the ball up for grabs. Watch the action by Kent. He lines it up, makes the jump. What hands he has. And then the ability to come down with the football.
Holmes again, the intended receiver. Woodbury has to be careful, though. They start from their own 9-yard line, 1st down and 10, with just 1:40 to go in the half. Penalty marker down, movement by Woodbury, so this will be half the distance and put Woodbury in kind of a precarious situation, Fred.
Snap infraction, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down. We'll go half the distance.
Bob, that's a real good judgment, because the ball back now on the 5-yard line or 4-yard line, a mistake by Woodbury, or even if Paulsboro can use some timeouts to make them punt, could give them some good field position.
1st and 15, but the ball on the 4-yard line. They cannot afford a turnover down here to give Glassboro an opportunity. I'm sure Woodbury at this point will be very happy with a 7-0 halftime lead. See if Glassboro uses any timeouts after this play. Looks like the ball is bobbled. Kent still on his feet, picking his way. Kent with a nice run up to about the 15-yard line, short of the first down, but more importantly, it gets him out of trouble.
What athletic ability he had. That was just a little straight down the line option. Kent stopped after 2 steps to see where the hole was and then broke it right back in the center. Can't say enough good things about Ryan Kent.
Spot at the 15-yard line, 2nd down and 3 yards to go for the first down with 1:10 to go. Woodbury not in any big hurry here. I think they'll be more than happy with the 1 touchdown halftime margin. Nelson with the carry. Still short of the first down to about the 16-yard line. 45 seconds to go with the clock running.
I see Glassboro finally takes the timeout because it's a 3rd down and short, and that'll leave them 1 timeout remaining and hope that they can stop Woodbury here. Call that quick timeout.
Been an interesting first half as Woodbury scored the first time it touched the football on the 77-yard touchdown run by Ryan Kent. Then the extra point conversion was good by Tim Anderson. That was with just 10-20 to play in the first quarter, but since then it's just an even up game, Fred.
I agree with you, Bob. You know, that's an interesting factor that I think that Glassboro can take their locker room at halftime. Their offense hasn't moved well, and it's only 7-0, and Woodbury's had opportunities to make it a lot more than that. So I think you take heart in that and pull yourself out and say, okay, the second half's going to be ours.
Field in great condition here at Woodbury High School, one of the prettiest fields in all of South Jersey, and it's held up well for this game. No rain so far, although there apparently is rain in the area.
I agree with you, Bob. I think Cherokee, which has like a bowl effect, I think they're 2 of the best stadiums around.
So if Glassboro makes a stop here, I'm sure they'll use another timeout. 3rd down and 2. Nelson will get the first down, so that becomes a moot point, and now Woodbury can just run out the clock. Advance to the 22-yard line. Pretty good first half for Arlo Nelson. And they'll just wind the clock. 35 seconds to go in the half, and let's see if Jim Boyd displays it conservatively here and lets the clock run down, or whether he lets Mr. Kent air one out. 20 seconds, 19 and a half. Kent does go deep. Well overshoots the intended receiver. He had a couple of burners out there, Nelson and Minor. 12 seconds to go in a half.
Bob, a good idea even there, because Ken has such a strong arm also that if it was to be intercepted, the ball would be way down the field. But I think he's just going to run the ball now and go into that halftime 7-0 in his favor.
12 seconds to go in a defensive first half. Ken again. Kent fires it, gets completed. And getting out of bounds to stop the clock with 4 seconds to go, Arthur Lewis. So Woodbury at the 38-yard line. Kent can just fire one downfield and hope for a defensive penalty.
Absolutely. I think now he's got the arm to do it, and you're right, because the half cannot end on a defensive penalty, so that's the obvious play.
4 seconds to go in the first half. Kent to throw. Fires it over the middle and intended for Lewis, and that'll do it for the first half. End of the first half from Woodbury High School in the NJSIAA Group 1 final. It's Woodbury 7 and Glassboro nothing. We'll be back with second half action after this. Second half football, Woodbury 7, Glassboro nothing in the Group 1 final game. Woodbury will receive the second half kickoff, and the stats kind of even except for one big number, Fred.
Absolutely. Ryan Kent's long touchdown run. Ryan has 7 attempts for 85 yards, but 77 of them came on the first play. Glassboro has to really be thankful that the first half is only 7-0 Woodbury. It could have been a lot worse.
Terrence Holmes will kick off for Glassboro to start the second half. Paris Minor deep in the middle for Woodbury, flanked by Malachi Allen and also by Arlo Nelson. And it is raining at Woodbury High. The rain we anticipated is here, not raining real hard yet. Bouncing kick taken at the 27-yard line. And Rivera with the return gives Woodbury pretty decent field position. So the defense is prevailing in the first half, other than the 77-yard TD run by Ryan Kent. And you got to give this Glassboro football team a lot of credit after the shutout victory over Paulsboro, where the defense was absolutely magnificent. They gave up the quick hitter to Ryan Kent, and ever since then they've been outstanding. First and 10, Woodbury, ball at the 33-yard line. And they run a reverse, picking his way for some pretty good yardage as Paris Minor to the 38-yard line.
How many times have we seen over the course of the season, Bob, that the initial drives by each team in the third quarter seem to set the tone for the game? Who comes out of the locker room with the best adjustments? Who's be able to use those adjustments to the benefit of their team? That's what I think we're going to see in these first two drives.
5-yard gain by Minor, second down and 5, ball at the 38. Kent, like a missed handoff there. Kent holds the football, loses a yard, and that Glassboro defense looks fired up as Stranix and Brown combined on the tackle of Ryan Kent.
Yeah, it looks like it was going to be a straight little option, and I think Kent at that time was going to give the ball to the fullback, And either he missed the handoff or the fullback was slow getting up to the mesh area, and Kent had to take the loss.
So it'll be 3rd down and 6, ball at the 38-yard line. Kent throwing and overshoots the intended receiver, Matt Giles, so it's 4th down. So the Glassboro defense does the job, forcing the punt on the first Woodbury series of the second half.
And once we said, their ability to hang in there and to go with the flow of the game is how it's been. It has been a plus to Glassboro. Now they're hoping that their halftime adjustments will help their offense.
Tim Rivera punting, Julian Worley deep at about his own 20-yard line. Pretty good punt by Rivera. There'll be no return on this one. And a Woodbury player downing the ball at the 33-yard line. So the Bulldogs of Glassboro with decent field position for their first second half possession.
Again, I'm sure at halftime was discussed that Glassboro had receivers that were open during the first half. Those little overthrows or short throws fell incomplete passes, and we'll see if their strategy has changed any.
Bob Cleary, the head football coach at Glassboro High School, terrific guy. Great program he has run over the years. 13 years as head coach at Glassboro. Worley with the carry. Worley picking his way, slides by a couple of tacklers and gets some decent yardage to the 36-yard line.
I think that's important. In the first half, we saw that Woodbury pretty much dominated the line on both sides of the ball, and I think Glassboro at halftime make their adjustments to try to get better blocking angles and to give Worley the ball and make him be able to get longer runs.
Worley got 4 yards, 2nd down and 6. Fullback gets the carry. And Williams gets a couple of yards to just short of the 40-yard line. So that'll create a 3rd down and about 4 for the Bulldogs.
In the first half, this was a situation for Satilli to throw the ball up deep. Maybe we'll see a change now, still with Satilli throwing the ball, but maybe in the middle alley or maybe in the out patterns.
3rd and 4 call for Satilli and company. They had trouble moving the ball in the first half. Satilli gets great protection, terrific protection, finally breaks down. The ball is loose, and it's picked up by Beverly, and apparently Woodbury football, his arm had not come through, and Satilli may be hurt on the play as well. Oh my, back at the 35-yard line. Is that Satilli, the quarterback?
Yes, it is, Bob.
And he looks like he is hurt. He was sandwiched, Fred. He had great protection. It was a coverage sack. We'll see this again, but Satilli is down.
And he can count. Anytime it's over 4 seconds, you know that the secondary's done the job. Watch, he waits, he waits, he waits. Now he's going to throw it. Boom.
3 of them hitting. Good, clean hit, 3 of them. Beverly, one of the ones. Beverly comes up with the football. Woodbury with possession at the 24, but the concern now for Derek Satilli, fine senior quarterback at Glassboro High School, and ambulance personnel coming out to look at Satilli along with head coach Bob Cleary and others. He was really smacked. We'll take time out from Woodbury High. 9:12 to play, 3rd quarter, 7-0 Woodbury. Derek Satilli walking off under his own power. Shouldn't really speculate. It looked almost, Fred, like he was knocked out, or other than that, must have had the wind knocked out of him, but he is dazed but okay. Woodbury with possession after the fumble loss at the 24-yard line of Glassboro. Now that Bulldog defense will really be tested. And Ken has trouble. Nice job by Minor getting a couple yards as the handoff between Kent and Minor was not clean. They still got a couple of yards down to about the 23.
A little X action, what we call in the backfield, where everybody goes in different directions and takes a good amount of timing. Wasn't on that play, but I'm glad to see Satilli walk off. He's a big part of this game, and he's a tough kid. I think he'll be back. 2nd down, only a yard gain, 2nd down and 9.
Kent with the pitch to Nelson, and Nelson falls down, the ball's loose, and Glassboro has it back. Sean Michael Cleary with the fumble recovery. Woodbury unable to capitalize on the big defensive play. They give it right back in 2 plays, and Glassboro right back in business. And now let's see who comes out to quarterback, the Bulldogs.
And it looks like it will not be Satilli, Bob. Looks like they're going to go to their second string quarterback, and I think it looks like it's going to be Willis. Watch this right here, a quick pitch and into the hands of number 22, Nelson, but he just never was able to gain control of it. Nice diving attempt for the fumble by Cleary.
So a new quarterback, that is Richard Willis of the Bulldogs, replacing Satilli. He'll hand off to Worley, and Worley going nowhere. The middle of that Woodbury defense led by John Stites. Allen also went in the play, lost back to the 24-yard line. It'll be second down and 12. Boy, both defenses just playing terrific football, pretty much what we expected.
And that's for sure, Bob. And I think a great morale lift for Glassboro to get that fumble. But now Woodbury trying to get some of it back with its fans and sensing a kill now without Satilli at quarterback.
They hand off to Worley. Worley has to reach back for it. Worley gets to the corner, gets a couple of yards, but the swarming Woodbury defense does the job. Money into the play. Ryan Kent over there. Both of these defenses, Fred, are good because they have so many different components. They're not just dominated by 1 or 2 or 3 players. Everybody's name we are calling all day long.
And I think that's the key, is that chemistry on defense is what's so important to your success. And obviously they enjoy playing together with each other, and they each know their roles that they have to play.
Third down and 9. Richard Willis, the new quarterback, Satilli out injured. The pitch to Worley. And Worley nowhere to run. He's hemmed in, and he will go down. Stites hitting first, but he had plenty of help. And I think the problem here for Glassboro, Fred, is that Woodbury now knows they can't throw the football with Satilli out.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because we were looking at the statistics coming into this game, and only one other person had attempted to make a pass during the season, and that was Willis, and he was 0 for 2. So there's just been no passing game whatever with Satilli out of there.
So Willis will now have to punt, and Woodbury again should get good field position as Paris Minor is back at about midfield. 6:28 to play in the third quarter. Still 7-0 Woodbury, in a game that has featured tremendous defenses on both sides.
Go!
Bad snap from center. Willis, good job of getting it off, and a nice punt by Willis. Outstanding punt. Boy, what a great effort by Willis. The ball down at the 35-yard line. That's the play we saw so many times at Paulsboro. The ball bouncing back to Willis. He makes a very athletic maneuver just to pick up the football, then gets off a great punt.
Bob, that's true. The poise he's showing is just outstanding now. He didn't have any ability to run like he did against Paulsboro, but to take that step up and kick the ball and then get off a great kick, outstanding. Glassboro's defense has to do it again. They may have to generate the offense today now.
Ball at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10 for Woodbury, but Woodbury, since the long run by Kent on their first play from scrimmage, has not really done a whole lot offensively. Kent with the carry, and not a whole lot doing, gets a couple of yards.
I've been scanning the sideline over there, Bob, to see if I can see Satilli, to see if they're working on him or if he's going to be okay, but it doesn't look like I see him at the moment, so I think Glassboro's going to have to go out without him for a while.
Taylor was among the tacklers for Glassboro. 3-yard pickup by Kent. 2nd down and 7, ball at the 39-yard line. Minor with the carry, but he is hauled down after a short gain. Haggerty with the tackle along with Ray Owens. And it'll be 3rd down. This Glassboro defense continues to impress.
And Haggerty's your prototype nose guard. He's quick, he's small, so teams can lose track of him in a hurry, and he just pursues well to the ball.
Ball at the 41-yard line, 3rd down and 6, 5:05 left, third quarter. South Jersey Group 1 championship game. Kent fires it deep. And nice defensive effort by Julian Worley. One-on-one coverage. You know what? The intended receiver was Matt Giles. People felt that you could throw on Glassboro. Their pass defense today has been pretty darn good.
And I agree. Here we can see Satilli on the bench now with his pads off. So right now it almost looked like his afternoon's over.
Look dazed. What a shame for that young man. Outstanding young man. Could be his shoulder. Rivera punting. Pretty good punt. Worley looking for a good bounce, doesn't get it. They'll let it roll dead. So Rivera gets a nice punt down to the 20-yard line, and this battle of defenses continues. And Glassboro down 7-0, now handicapped by not having its fine senior quarterback leader, Derek Satilli, who can throw the football in there, and that could make a difference.
Bob, I think you're exactly right. With the threat of the pass being taken away from Glassboro's offense, you'll see Woodbury put as many as 8 men up front to stop Worley, to stop any type of offense that Glassboro would have.
Richard Willis does a little bit of everything for this Glassboro football team, and he's being called on now in his last game in his high school career to generate some offense, replacing the injured Derek Satilli. Absolutely nothing doing.
And that's pretty much set the tone for what we're seeing now, is that Glassboro becomes very one-dimensional on the fact that they're either going to run the outside toss to Worley or going to try the trap inside, and it's easy when you know it's coming.
Justin Cruz was the tackler for Woodbury. Yard loss on the play. 2nd down and 11, the ball at the 19-yard line. Williams, Worley, the back's behind Willis. Willis to throw, has good protection, and he'll run the football, dumps it out. Oh boy, that's dangerous, and it's intercepted. And Money down to the 9-yard line, and boy, that was an opportunity for Woodbury with the ball just floated up there by Willis. Marcus Money with the interception, and Woodbury now hammering at Glassboro's door. Willis with the interception, inexperienced quarterback, and Woodbury takes advantage of that, gets great field position.
Bob, you were right. That play had disaster written on it from the beginning. So we can see in here, Willis is just rolling out. He sees Worley close, and he tries to run the football, and then instead of throwing the ball, he just tosses it up like a basketball pass. Wow. Down inside the 10.
So Woodbury has a great chance now. The Woodbury crowd, a good crowd on hand today. Crowds at the playoff games have not been that great this season in South Jersey, but terrific crowd on hand for this one today. And Woodbury with a great opportunity here. They have 1st down and goal, ball just spotted inside the 10-yard line.
Bob, whether it's a plus or a minus at this time, there's only 2 playoff games going in the South Jersey region today. This one and the Deptford versus Gloucester game. The next 2, the Group 3 and the Group 4, will go tomorrow. That'll be Sunday, December the 6th. They're being played up at Rutgers Stadium. That would be obviously Ocean City and Toms River South and Shawnee and Overbrook. So really, the game at Woodbury and the game at Gloucester are the only games in town today.
So this vaunted Glassboro defense will be put to the test again as Woodbury has 1st and goal from inside the 10-yard line in the wishbone attack. Kent running the offense. Hand off to Nelson, and he will be hauled down. Big play by Julian Worley.
And that's great to see for Glassboro, that even though things aren't going well now, that there's no quit. Each team has a breaking point somewhere during the course of the game. And I think the danger for Glassboro is that breaking point could be coming now if Woodbury can score. So we'll see how they rise now.
Yard loss to the 11, 2nd down and goal. Kent keeps it, he's going nowhere. Guess who? Worley again with the initial hit. Help on the play from Stranix, and this Glassboro defense A tremendous job. You know, if they don't get the touchdown in this play, we might see that freshman kicker try to make it a 2-score game on a field goal, Fred.
I think that makes good sense, but you know, we say it enough times, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Worley's made 2 in a row. Here comes Woodbury to the air this play.
3rd down and goal, ball at the 13-yard line. Can't they run a reverse to Lewis? Lewis has some room, and Lewis into the end zone for the touchdown. A tremendous call, Fred Schwartz. Just a great call on 3rd down and goal from the 13. And on the reverse, Arthur Lewis, which has scored 2:29 to go in the 3rd. It's a 13-0 game.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Bob. What a great call. Everybody's looking past. Everybody was going with the flow of the backs and the hand back to Lewis, and in he walks in the end zone untouched.
So Lewis scores from 13. It's a 13-0 game. Now Tim Anderson, out of the hold of John Stites, tries to make it 14-0. Good snap, good hold. He gets it off, plenty of distance, and it's good. So Woodbury with a 14-0 lead with 2:29 to go in the 3rd period, and the interception sets up the score. But watch this touchdown.
And great, Kent sets it up by selling the run to one play. There's the handoff, the missed tackle that would come outside, and there's clear sailing for Lewis, and he knows how to get to that end zone. Worley's the only one with a shot at the end.
Boy, what a great call that was, Fred.
I'll tell you what, would have fooled me too. I'm thinking pass down in the end zone, maybe throwing to Lewis, maybe throwing to Giles. Great call.
Why can't the Philadelphia Eagle coaching staff make a call like that?
I think we have to transport the Gloucester County coaches up there. I think we do a heck of a lot better.
2:29 to go in the 3rd. 14-0 Woodbury, and now a tough road for Bob Clary and his football team.
I think the hardest thing now is just you have to get over the frustration. Now you're down 2 scores. You know you need it. Your big-armed quarterback is not there. You just have to gather yourself and see what kind of courage and intestinal fortitude you can develop.
Kent kicking off. Good kick this time by Kent. Worley driven back to the 10-yard line. Worley. Nice return by Worley. So Glassboro will start from its own 34-yard line, but now trailing 14-0. And in the play for Woodbury, Daniel Caroma among the tacklers on the special teams.
Bob, if it was ever imperative to move the football, it is now. All the emotion, all the momentum is in the hands of the Thundering Herd. Woodbury has to realize that this is the last shot maybe Glassboro has.
Hand off to Worley, and it's a one-dimensional attack now. Woodbury knows that, and it's a shame for Glassboro, but that's kind of what's evolved here. John Stites, who's had a big game, leading the tacklers again along with Malachi Allen.
You can just see Woodbury's moving their linebackers up. Where normally they play a 4-3, they're putting 7 people up in the line of scrimmage, knowing that it's going to be a run 95 or 98% of the time.
2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs. They need a big play from one of the big play guys like Julian Worley. He had a big one against Paulsboro for the game breaker in that contest. Split the backs now behind Willis. Worley with the carry, but boy, he's going nowhere. Hauled down on a terrific play by Steve Smith, that veteran lineman for the Woodbury Thundering Herd, who's had such a terrific career.
And again, Glassboro is going to the well with everything they know. They're running their sweeps, they're running their tosses, they're running their traps, but they're just not able to move out the bodies of Woodbury, and the momentum's on the side of the Thundering Herd.
3rd down and 14, ball at the 30. A lot of pressure on Richard Willis. Fine player, fine veteran player in this Glassboro team. Called on to quarterback in a championship game when he's played virtually no time there all season long. Pitch, reverse, and look at this play. Oh, what a job by Holmes of eluding one tackler. Still on his feet. Look at Worley with the football. Still running with the ball. What a run. That is an amazing play, and he gets the 1st down.
Now, if we get a chance...
Oh, boy, I'd love to see that one again.
I was going to say, we get the chance to see it. You'll see that Holmes was trapped, and he handed the ball off to Worley.
What a play. This was almost a long loss.
And we can see the toss that comes here. Worley hands the ball back to Holmes. Holmes realizes he's trapped. Now watch him hand the ball back to Worley. This is he's going down. There it goes. That's amazing.
Look at this run by, this is a big-time run by Julian Worley. And the Bulldogs are first and 10 at the 45-yard line. What an exciting play, Worley with the pitch. Worley starting to really put on a show. He's across midfield to the 4. Don't count these Bulldogs out. It's 14-0. They lost their quarterback, but they're not out of it.
And I'll tell you what, that's true. And they're showing him why that they're 7-4 and why they've made it to the championship game, because they're not quitting.
That's it for 3 quarters from Woodbury High School. Woodbury 14, Glassboro nothing. 12 minutes to go. Don't go away. Bagpipers here at Woodbury High. It's 2nd down and 2 for Glassboro at the 47-yard line. Fred Schwartz and Bob Shryak bringing the action on Comcast Cablevision in the Group 1 final. Final quarter coming up. Willis at quarterback for the Bulldogs. Worley gets the pitch, gets to the corner, turns it back in and gets a first down. So Worley starting to come up with some big plays for the Bulldogs.
There's pluses and minuses here in both of them. The pluses is that Glassboro's moving the football. The minuses is without their big arm quarterback in Derek Satilli, their drives are going to take longer. And with only 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go, they're going to have to generate 2 scores.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Willie Murray looking on, the assistant head coach of the Thundering Herd. Worley tripped up by Chuck Adair. A lot of help on the play. Malachi Allen there, also Kanan Noon. Ball at the 40-yard line after the 3-yard pickup, 2nd down and 7, but the clock running, 11:10 to play.
And again, Glassboro must get points on this drive.
Second and 7, ball at the 40. Worley again, he'll be called on often, and he takes a big hit from Ryan Kent to finish off the play after a gain of only about a yard to the 39.
And I'm sure Bob Cleary's thinking, what possibly way can I generate some kind of offense quickly to get down and get the points? They tried to go unbalanced that way, and Paulsboro, I mean, I'm saying that enough now, but Woodbury's defense is just too tough right today.
3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. And the pitch to Owens. And Owens still on his feet, and he is hauled down on a terrific open field tackle by Kent. But the advance to the 31-yard line gives Glassboro another first down. Don't count out these Bulldogs.
And that's true, and what you just said, Bob, is true. That was a great open field tackle by Kent, which could have prevented a touchdown.
Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs. 9:55 to play. Worley out for a breather. Straight ahead. Good job of second effort running by the fullback Bruce Williams. Excuse me, that was Floyd Taylor. And Taylor's advanced to the 26-yard line. Pick up on a play of about 4.5, so it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Interesting thing on the Glassboro sideline, Satilli is now standing up and throwing the football to one of his assistant coaches.
But holding that shoulder as he throws. Penalty marker down. I believe there's movement. Ray Owens with the carry, but I believe one of the wide receivers moved for Glassboro. This has been basically a penalty-free game, except for a couple of big ones against the Bulldogs in the second quarter.
Right, and I basically that's the indication of these two teams. They go hard, but they're well coached and they're well disciplined, and that usually results in penalty-free games.
Well, you can see the wincing that Santilli's doing when he relieves the football. He is obviously in some pain. I would be catching the ball with his left hand.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I think he'd love to be there, but I think the smart move is wait for another day.
I don't think we're going to see him again. Lee is in pain as he releases. Penalty moving Glassboro back to the 31-yard line where it is second down and about 10. 8:55 for the ball game, perhaps this season, and a Group 1 championship for Woodbury, but Glassboro is still very much in this football game. Halfback pass set up for Worley, throws it up, and he's got a man open. Touchdown! Touchdown! The reception by Chris Sheridan on a little gimmick play by Glassboro with the pass made by Worley, and Glassboro right back in this football game on a 33-yard touchdown pass to Chris Sheridan. Another great call. Bulldogs on the board, and it's 14-6.
Well, you're right, Bob. Just when you think Glassboro can't throw the football and you're committing everyone to the run, what a great call. What a great touchdown.
How about that? A couple of great calls for touchdowns, one by Woodbury and one by Glassboro. 8:35 to go, 14-6.
And it looks as if Glassboro's going to go for 2. And they are.
So Bulldogs will it'll either be 14-6 or 14-8 after this play. Willis at quarterback. Willis rolling, throws back. Worley with the catch. Worley breaking it into the end. Did he get in? No, he didn't get in. Stopped right at the goal line. It looked like Worley's tremendous second effort was going to get him in, but he doesn't. And Woodbury stops the two-point conversion try, and it'll stand at 14-6. Chuck Adair with the big hit. He's had a lot of them today.
We're going to get a chance to see the touchdown again. We'll see Willis toss the ball out to Worley. He'll take 3 steps, stop, look downfield, and throw. And watch Chris Sheridan wide open. The last minute Nelson came in. Actually, that was Marcus Money came in for the attempted interception, does not get it. I tell you what though, Bob, that official was right in the right spot for the 2-point conversion, so I'm sure he didn't make it in.
What a terrific pass by Julian Worley, a halfback, and he had some pressure on him. He made a perfect pass to Sheridan. What an entertaining football game. Still 8:35 to play, but now Glassboro has to score again and make a 2-point conversion to perhaps force an overtime.
And now the wheels are running. Do you onside kick with 8 minutes and 35 seconds to go? Or do you kick it deep, rely on your defense to hold, and then get the ball back in good position?
No onside kick here. They have plenty of time, especially the way this defense can play.
And I agree with you.
Terrence Holmes will kick off. Paris Minor, number 8. Malachi Allen, number 10. Group 1 dominated by Paulsboro through the 90s, but a new winner this year, either Woodbury or Glassboro. And his knee is down at the 17 as Allen tried to pick it up and run with it, but his knee touched down. And Woodbury not good field position. They'll start from their 17-yard line.
And you're right, any chance has to now come with Glassboro's defense. They must stop Woodbury, turn the ball over, and then hope for some magic.
Well, you got to give Glassboro a lot of credit. I mean, down 14-0, you lose your quarterback. Things don't look good at all. You come up with a little bit of a gimmick play, you score on it, and you're right back in the football game. First and 10 at the 17. Kent keeps the football, and he slips trying to cut it back and gets only a couple yards to the 20.
I think sometimes what's missed in this is teams are a reflection of their coaches. So a team that's able to come back from that really shows the kind of coach and coaching staff that Glassboro has. Then also the enthusiasm that's shown by Woodbury shows so much on Coach Boyd and his fine staff.
2-yard pickup, second down and 8, ball spotted right at the 20-yard line. 8 minutes to play in regulation. Minor tripped up at the line of scrimmage, and another good play by that Jerry Stranix.
And Glassboro's doing exactly what they want to do. They're trying to hold Woodbury to a 3-and-out, get that ball back on offense, and see exactly what they can do.
Only gained, well, no gain at all. Ball still at the 20. It's 3rd down and 8. Kent rolling. Kent will run with the football, take a hit from Sean Michael Clary and be short of the first down by about 3 yards. And Glassboro's defense does the job again as Kent holding his right arm, it looks like.
2 outstanding plays there, Bob. First of all, by the secondary of Glassboro shutting down the passing lanes, and second by Sean Michael Clary. When Ryan Kent turned and went downfield, he was the guy to stop him before the first down.
Rivera punting. Glassboro should get good field position. Got a real long punt by Rivera. Ooh, almost mistake there. And nice job on the return. And Glassboro into Woodbury territory at the 45-yard line. 6:37 to play, 14-6. Woodbury leading Glassboro.
Joey is in the lineup.
Amazingly, Derek Satilli back in the lineup for Glassboro, and Worley with a great carry. Worley almost breaking it. Worley gets close to first down yardage to the 36-yard line, gain of 9. We did not expect to see number 13, Derek Satilli, back in the lineup. Give that young man some credits. What courage. He was flattened on a tackle. Back in the football game.
It's amazing to see that he's back there, and I know there's people thinking both sides that one, he's going to help to lead Glassboro, and you have to also be concerned about him physically, but his presence will just pick up the Bulldogs.
2nd and a yard. Satilli to throw. Satilli getting a big rush, and he will go down. Good pursuit by C.J. Maurer, 270-pound junior tackle for the Thundering Herd. And a loss on the play. Back to the 38-yard line. Satilli staying in.
I'm just impressed that a pass play was called on the second play back in. Satilli had the sense to run the football and not worry about what his shoulder is going to be and have an interesting finish.
Zach Valentine, the defensive coach for the Woodbury team, does a great job. 3rd down and 4. Straight ahead to Worley. Worley breaking tackles and has the first down. Good job by Worley. Oh, we got a great football game. 5:10 to go. Glassboro looked like they might be out of it. Down 14-0. They score on a bit of a razzle-dazzle play. Their quarterback back in the game. It's one of those Hollywood script jobs, isn't it, shaping up, Fred?
I'm telling you what, I'm just impressed that he's back, but I'm also amazed at the resiliency of Glassboro. They're just not going to quit.
Ball at the 35-yard line. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Satilli has trouble with the snap, but Worley gets it. Worley battling, takes a big hit and pushed back after a short gainer. Vincent Allen in on the play, but he had help. Malachi Allen also there. And only again, about a yard pickup, 2nd and 9.
And Bob, again, we talked about the defense is what wins championship. Offense puts people in the stands, but defense wins championships. Both teams have great defenses because of their speed and their ability to play their assignments.
Now Woodbury calling a timeout. So 4:16 to play. Woodbury 14, Glassboro 6, but Glassboro deep into Woodbury territory, and if they score, obviously they'll go for 2 and try to create a 14-14 tie. We could have overtime.
And I'll tell you what, it's an interesting situation with overtime because the ball's placed on the 25-yard line and you have series to go through and score. And one thing that's interesting in NJSAAA playoffs is on the 3rd overtime, you must go for 2. so that they try to make sure that we don't have a legendary 6 or 7 overtime game. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of heart and soul being shown out on this field today.
Well, the fans at Woodbury High School have been treated to a good one today. We expected a close game, and that's what we've got.
All the local newspaper people expected it to be a close game. I know we did in the same case, and we're not being disappointed.
2nd and 9. Ball at the 34-yard line. Satelli with the drop. Satelli, good protection. Fires it over the end. It's intercepted. It's intercepted by Chuck Adair. A big pick by Adair. And Woodbury with a turnover and back in business at their own 27-yard line.
And the little man makes a big play, dropping from his linebacker spot to take away the curl pattern in which Glassboro was running. Right spot, intercepted the ball. We'll watch right here until he makes this 5-step drop. And we'll notice he kind of like short arms the ball. That's exactly what he does here, and Adair reads it perfectly for the interception.
Woodbury needs a couple of first downs. A carry by Minor. Minor hauled down after a couple of yard pickup. And that Jerry Stranix with another good play for the Bulldogs.
Certainly neither team has anything to be disappointed about today because they both showed why they deserve to be in the championship and why both teams beat Paulsboro during the course of the season. Heart, soul, determination, and that never say die attitude. This game still has a ways to go.
2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8 for the Thundering Herd. Minor again. Minor into the clear. One man to beat. He's going to go at the 50, at the 40, at the 30, at the 20. He'll score. Paris Minor with 3:17 to play may have put this one away for the Woodbury High School Thundering Herd on a touchdown run of 70 yards.
And it was just a straight off-tackle play by Woodbury, and the speed of Minor was evident once he broke through the line, broke past the linebackers, and shook past the tackle of Chris Sheridan. There was nobody going to stop him. Touchdown, Woodbury.
The senior leaders on this team, he's had a lot of big plays in his career, none bigger than this one, because that could have been the coup de grace for Woodbury in this battle against Glassboro High School. 20-6, 3:16 to play, and Tim Anderson, 2 for 2 so far, tries to go for his 3rd conversion. Good snap and hold. And he's perfect. Tim Anderson, only a freshman, 3 for 3. It's 21-6 for the Thundering Herd. And let's watch Paris Minor.
And again, the straight handoff to Minor. Good vision at the line of scrimmage. Watch him pop past the outside. Outrun Sheridan and off to the races. Paris is a track champion, and it shows why as he just turns on the jets and races down untouched into the end zone.
Sheridan doesn't miss many tackles, but when he couldn't get him, no one else was there to back him up.
And that's for sure. What a way to end your high school career with a great run like that for Paris Minor.
All right. Could be a celebration in Woodbury tonight.
I'll tell you, the fans can sense it. The atmosphere here is just intense right now for the Thundering Herd.
Woodbury a 9-2 team coming into this game. Glassboro 7-4.
Woodbury's only loss is that 1-pointer to Haddon Township in first game of the season, and then to an excellent Haddon Heights team. But they've been outstanding all year.
So Glassboro will need a quick strike. Julian Worley, only a junior. Looking forward to seeing him next season. Short kick, they don't want a long return by Worley. Picked up by Owens. And nice coverage. Leading the tacklers downfield. Daniel Caroma has made a couple of special team plays for the Thundering Herd.
Every coach will tell you, you don't celebrate until that clock says 0, 0, 0. So Coach Boyd is reminding his troops to stay focused because the game is never over.
So Glassboro is starting from its own 32-yard line, 3:11, and of course, it appeared that Satelli, when he was hurt in the third quarter, injured his shoulder, and he can throw the deep ball, but let's see how much it's impeded by the injury he has suffered, because he has to go deep. But he dumps this one out, incompleted, intended for Cleary. Second down and 10. 3:07. Woodbury defense really has to make just one stop. That's Zach Valentine, who's done such a terrific job of coaching this Thundering Herd defense.
Bob, Woodbury has not won the Group 1 championship since 1991, but that's not unusual because no team has won the Group 1 championship since 1991 if your name wasn't Paulsboro. And on that day, they defeated Woodbury in 1991, defeated a pretty good Clayton team with Robert Marshall.
Satelli going deep, really airs, my goodness, look at this throw. Whoa. I tell you, he has got a big-time arm.
And you could tell that took a lot out of him as he walks over to the sidelines, but I'm just impressed with the courage and the intestinal fortitude of him, because I'm sure every throw hurts him.
Third down and 10, looking for the freshman Terrence Holmes on that long pass, and that ball about 45 yards in the air by Satelli with the bad arm. I don't think you could throw it that far, Fred.
I don't think it would take me like 3 walks to do it. I'm telling you.
2:59 to play, third down and 10. They run the draw with Worley. Worley has a little bit of room. He is sandwiched between Chuck Adair and John Stites. And it'll be fourth down, and Glassboro obviously will go for it in this situation with 2:47, the clock running.
Yeah, I don't think they have too much of a choice. I know Bob Cleary always plays the game to win, and he realizes that he can't win this game without a first down.
So it could be the last hurrah coming up for Glassboro. They have to have a first down on this play, or their hopes of the Group 1 championship probably gone. Satelli, and will this dump it off? Worley with the run. Does he get it? Oh, what a great second effort. It looks like Worley got the second down with second effort.
And again, good presence of mind by Satelli to see Worley, and then you're right, Bob, great presence of mind by Worley to know where that first down stick was.
44-yard line, first down and 10, but the clock moving. Glassboro has to put one in the end zone quickly, then convert an onside kick. Satelli fires it out, has Holmes, and Holmes now looking for somebody to throw to, but can't. He has some room. Holmes, the freshman, does not get out of bounds. Makes a nice play down to the 40, but does not get out of bounds.
Bob, that was originally planned as a double pass where Holmes was going to get the ball and throw the ball down to Chris Sheridan, but it was a little botch on the timing. But Holmes did a pretty good job of turning it into a great gain.
Now they got to get up at the line of scrimmage. They're losing valuable seconds here as the clock ticks down, 141, 140. Holmes unable to get out of bounds to stop the clock, and the clock is running. They're losing valuable seconds here, 14, 15 seconds. Satelli to throw, going deep again. Incomplete. That could have been offensive pass interference, but I think a good no call by the official.
I think I was going to say, wasn't it Bill Crowder of Pittsburgh that said he thought the officials in the NFL should be like the NHL and not make any calls in the last minute?
And they don't either, do they?
That's for sure.
Second down at 10, minute 20 to go. So Glassboro's only chance now is to score in the next play or two and then make an onside kick. That's it.
Well, certainly both teams have shown why they're here today, and you can't help but feel good for Woodbury, but you have to feel for Glassboro because they've certainly given everything that they've had.
Kelly getting a big rush, dumps it out. Ooh. Actually threw it to Stranix.
Yeah, Stranix did a good job of making sure he didn't catch the ball.
Minute 16 to go. Woodbury fans about ready to celebrate.
I think this will spill out on the Route 40, or Broad Street or Route 45, because there's a lot of excitement right now here in Woodbury.
Third down and 10, ball at the 40. Satilli going deep again, looking for Holmes. Double coverage on Holmes. I think Holmes has run about 3 miles today on those fly patterns.
That's for sure. And once again, we got to see Satilli throw that ball 45 or 50 yards in the air.
Satilli, a good student. They talked about him with his arm and size, Fred, of possibly being able to play at the Ivy League level.
And he's certainly shown me he has the courage to do that too. And I'm also Ryan Kent, who has certainly shown today why he's the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey's back of the year. Also another outstanding student. So I think the younger people that can watch this game today realize that you have to combine your academics with your athletics. And if you want to be a big-time player, you also have to be big-time with the books.
Woodbury took the timeout. There's 1:08 to play. Could be the final offensive play. You see the numbers, 21-6, a minute 8. Home with the Thundering Herd, and what history there is at this stadium, Fred.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we can remember the Combs days where Woodbury went 3 years without ever losing a game, 27-0. And we had the remarkable stretch of 4 Group 1 champions with the Eddie Walkers and the great players that they had during that time with Larry Ginsburg and Jim Boyd. And now another championship coming up from the Thundering Herd here today.
Milton Plum played in this field. Frank Urban, Tony DeLucas.
I was going to say, you just named 2 people that not only played here, but also did pretty well in their coaching careers. Sterling and Washington Township.
So they'll operate out of the shotgun in this 4th down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Satilli, good protection, fires it over the middle to Holmes. Holmes makes the catch, still on his feet. Knees down, but I believe he has the first down.
Yeah, it sure looks like that, Bob.
58 seconds. These Bulldogs just won't quit. That was a great throw by Satilli.
You know, as hard as they've played today, you almost say, gee, I hope they get in the end zone to end up with a little bit of joy, because all the joy is going to be on the Thundering Herd side.
They're not preparing this ice chest here for the coach, are they?
I think there's a good shot.
Satilli looking to dunk it, but he is dropped. Leading the tackler is C.J. Maurer.
And Bob Cleary makes sure he takes a timeout. He wants to show his troops and the ones that are coming back next year that there's no quit in Bob.
Minute 9 to go. I'm not sure that clock is right. Didn't I just have it under a minute a little while ago? Now there's a minute 9 on the clock.
Maybe the clock's running up. Glassboro guy's in charge of it now, and the clock's running up instead of down.
It's that Walt Robinson guy.
Yeah.
Good man, Walt.
Yes, he is.
Fans are looking back at the press box.
You're right, that Vincent Allen is kind of taking care of that Gatorade bucket just to make sure. Walking also back there is Arthur Lewis, and I think they're going to be the procurers of the Gatorade. Yep, here it is. They're going to change the clock, Bob. You're right on the money.
The clock operator left. This is very interesting. All right, now we're down to 52 seconds. There we go. That was 17 seconds that just elapsed real quickly. Apparently the clock operator went out for a while, eh?
You see everything in the course of a season, Bob.
It's not his fault. Walt didn't do it. He's not the clock operator. That bald head you saw was mine.
I'm glad they didn't show me.
2nd and 11. Satilli getting a big rush, and he will be. Ball is loose. Now Worley with the ball. Look at this play. It's amazing. Worley's still on his feet, and Worley gets close to a first down. Satilli was sacked. The ball was picked up by David Brown. He lateraled to Julian Worley. Now the clock is back. The clock is going the opposite direction. Now there's a minute 13. Wow.
Yeah, the clock is going up instead of down, which is kind of interesting.
Look at this. Now they're playing. It's Satilli with the throw completed to Broughton. down to the 13-yard. This is bizarre.
Well, Bob, I think it's been such a good game, nobody wants to see it end.
This is really bizarre. They're going to keep the clock on the field. 15 seconds. All right. There we go. I think these Woodbury fans are a little upset. They want to celebrate.
That's
Gatorade trick coming up.
Here it
Here
comes.
we go. The old Gatorade trick.
Mr. Lewis. Boyd is in trouble.
Oh, he got it. I'm not sure he was real thrilled about that.
We'll give credit there to Justin Cruz and Arthur Lewis.
They might not get their letters after that.
That's for sure.
He didn't look real thrilled about that. Good thing it's not 22 degrees, huh? 15 seconds. The time being kept on the field now as the scoreboard clock is malfunctioning. Satilli fires it over the middle. It's completed to Cleary. He's dropped at the 6-yard line by Malachi Allen.
And I think that's going to do it, Bob. I don't think they can get off another play.
Glassboro trying to line up. Satilli on the center. They get the play off, or did they?
No, they didn't.
That's the game. They do not get the play off. And the final score, Woodbury 21, Glassboro 6. Woodbury wins its first sectional Group 1 championship since 1991. It becomes the first school since Paulsboro to win the title since 1991. The celebration begins in Woodbury. Final score 21-6.
A lot of happy faces here, Bob. With Woodbury, there's Coach Boyd and Coach Cleary meeting together.
Thundering Herd, champions of Group 1. 10-win season. Ended Paulsboro's 63-game winning streak. And won their first sectional title since 1991.
An appreciative crowd just standing and applauding because they realize the effort and the attitude that's been shown by this team.
We'll take time out and come back with some interviews right after this. Final score, Woodbury 21, Glassboro 6. Woodbury winning its first Group 1 championship since 1991. A tremendous effort for the Thundering Herd, and Ryan Kent closes out his great career with another fine game. Congratulations. They were a tough opponent, though, weren't they, Ryan?
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, just coming out, they really kind of killed Haddon Township in the first round of the playoffs, like 51-14, and they come out and they beat Paulsboro, the number 1 seeded team, who's won like 6 straight championships. So they're an excellent team. They got great defense, they got a great offense, good running back, quarterback, receivers. They're just a really good team.
They pursue and they hit.
Yeah, they do exactly. Our teams are most kind of alike. Our defenses. We both swarm, we both get guys to the ball, and we both can lay the wood. Tell me about your touchdown run in that first play. Well, it's we just ran a 16. It's supposed to be an option, just like a speed option, and we knew their defensive ends like to really fly upfield from watching the Paulsboro game, and if he did that, then our tight end Arthur Lewis would just kick him out, and that's what he did. He flew upfield. Butter kicked him out. I cut upfield and made a couple cuts and got some blocks by Marcus Money downfield, and he freed me up to go all the way. Brian, congratulations on your season, on being the Touchdown Club Back of the Year. Yeah, thank you very much. It was a great honor to be there. Okay, let's talk to Paris Minor here. Paris, congratulations. Great game for you. You put the clincher on this one with that great run. Tell us about that run.
Before the run, I told my guard and tackle to try to take care of Jenkins, 77. He was in my face all day. All day he was in my face. They kicked him out. He was nowhere to be seen. And Malachi Allen laid a very good block on the linebacker who was scraping off. And I just ran for the sideline. There was one guy I had to beat, but I outran him, I guess.
Well, what a great way to remember your career with that run, too, right, Paris?
Yeah, that was a clincher.
You guys have been shooting for this for a long time. It all came together for you this year.
Since our freshman year.
Right.
I always wanted to know what it would be like to win a Group 1 championship. 2 years ago, if everybody recalls, Glassboro shut us out. They beat us in the semifinals, and last year we lost to Paulsboro, and we lost one of the great running backs ever. And this year we were just looking just to win it, just to win Group 1, bring it back to Woodbury, and we did. Finally brought it back home.
Sounds like you might get an A in a public speaking course, Paris.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Let's get JD in here. JD Barons, you're kind of one of the anchors of this great defense. You know, Woodbury's been a great offensive team. You don't hear a whole lot about your defense. You guys play terrific defense, JD.
Right. You know, I just try to get a great pass rush, and thanks to Mr. Valentine and all the coaches, they never settled for less. They wanted to settle for the best. And I just wanted to try to make the one that beat a big play. And I just wanted to let the quarterback know if he couldn't find his primary receiver, where are we at? We wanted to make him, kind of.
Let's talk a little bit about Coach Valentine. We don't hear a whole lot about him. I know he's one of the best in the area at what he does.
Right. But Mr. Valentine, him being a pro, he came in and, in defense and defensive practices, if we didn't do the right thing, the whole team had to suffer. And that made everyone want to step up and get the job done and take care of everything that was going on. Especially in practice. It all started in practice. We came together as a team. Mr. Valentine, he supported us and made sure we were going to be the best of the best. So
celebration begins now, right, JD?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
JD Barringer. Okay. Come on, let's get the coach in here, too. Coach, I know you had a great day, but I'm not sure you liked that bath at the end of the game.
That was cold. The last time we did this, they only got part of me. This, kind of like a back leg or something. This time, and I had a jacket on that last time. It was a lot colder day, but the jacket soaked up a lot of the juice. This time, it was cold.
Jim, a long time coming, but you guys earned it this season. Tremendous season.
When we started off the season with a loss, a lot of teams might have trouble, adjusting their season, the rest of that. But those guys, even though we lost that first game, actually found themselves in the fourth quarter of that game. And even though we lost the Haddon Heights game, they actually, learned something from it. And we played better defense from that point on. And, that's what you, as a football coach, that's what you look for in a football team, is to get better as the season goes on. And with each progressive game this year, we played better and better defense. And hats off to Zach Valentine for that. He does a great job with our defense.
Yeah. You hit them quick. You have them down 7-0. You have them on their heels the whole first half. Can't put them away. I know you have a lot of respect for Bob Cleary. That's a great football team.
We saw them on film with Salem. It was on TV early in the year. We exchanged 2 films with them. We saw them against Stepford, and we saw them against Gloucester. 2 more good football teams. We saw them against Paulsboro, another good football team. And nobody's able to run inside of the tackles on them all day long, So we figured we had to, go to the perimeter. But the problem with them going to the perimeter is they have such good speed in the secondary too. Even though we have good speed, they can still cause you problems on the perimeter too. So they're a tough team to move the ball consistently against.
Terrific call on the second touchdown, Jim. Tell us about that.
Well, that's not me. That's Butch Gale. I'm the only one that gets to enjoy the games on Saturdays. I'm the only one without a real job. Zach Valentine calls the defense. Butch Gale calls the offense from the roof. Willie Murray sends the plays in. I just stick my nose in wherever I want. So that's Butch Gale's job up on the top.
That was a great
call. Great call.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur Lewis, he's a track guy in the spring, and about 11.3, 11.4. He's faster than most tight ends are. Mm-hmm. So we thought, we might want to get the ball to him more than just throwing the thing down the field to him. So we put that tight end screen in that worked well for us today, and then of course the reverse, that was a big one.
Jim, congratulations on a great season and on the championship.
Thank you very much.
Jim Boyd, the head football coach at Woodbury High School. Fred, I tell you got some budding public speakers in those 3 guys, those young players, right?
I'm impressed. Woodbury's English department ought to be very, very happy. Bob, what we said is championships are won with perseverance, dedication, and commitment. We added another one today, the ability to overcome adversity. Both teams had over the season. They played like champions today, and hats off to Woodbury. It's a crown well deserved.
Fred, great working with you again.
And always a pleasure to be with you.
Okay. Final score again, Woodbury 21, Glassboro 6. The Thundering Herd, the Group 1 champions.